says, imagine if we had 650 or even half of that of MPs of Andrew and Rupert's calibre, integrity and honesty until we have more efficient and different set of incentives in play. Our politics, strap in and get out of the cities. And Barnaby says, Andrew, I'd love to know what you think, where you think all of this ends. My view is that David Betts, who's a professor who's been talking about civil war in Britain, thinks is correct and thinks we're going to arrive at a sort of low-grade Latin American-style civil war faster than it can turn around.
Yeah, and what I do say to people is that the darker it gets, you've got to remember we're nearer to the end. Yeah. It is going to get darker and worse. But we are relying a lot on the Americans to help us out, even if it's only with a tsunami of truth and justice coming across the Atlantic, which would sweep away self-serving politicians that we've got in this country currently.
Take advantage of your First Amendment.
There'd only be Rupert left.
Yes. Eowthwith says, hubby is a doctor in Australia. Luckily, he is married to a criminologist. I had to do law and psychology, trained in the 90s for criminology was cool. Medicare in Australia. Admins aren't doctors. That's another point. Is the admins are not doctors, are they? Anyway, let's move on. So, do you remember a little while ago when we were told, actually, the RAF doesn't need useless white male pilots because we have impossible to hit diversity targets. And good God, do we need those diversity targets. So this was only in June 2023, so it's not like this was ancient history. And things have changed in the world since then. But this is a fascinating thing that was just like, okay, well, can you give me an example of institutional bias against straight white men? Yes, from the RAF, from the one of the three branches.
The new sentencing guidelines are pretty damning, aren't they?
They are, but this is one of those ones where this is a remarkable thing. So the selection boards were complaining in these leaked emails and documents that they just couldn't get non-white people.
I passed that at Biggin Hill when I was 16.
Oh, really?
It's called Test in Advance. It was for aircrew.
Right, okay. They say a number of selection boards to place recruits on courses were also cancelled if they did not include women or ethnic minorities, according to these messages. So this is outright racial discrimination and gender discrimination, which theoretically is illegal in this country. This is
positive discrimination, still discrimination.
Just you're not allowed to discriminate on protected characteristics. Technically, this is a crime. But of course, this is never going to be prosecuted for anything. And the Air Force had to pay out £5,000 each. Wow. To 31 different straight white men. The admin costs more than that. Yeah, it does. But at least they got something, because it doesn't really matter the amount, to be honest. The fact that they got paid £5,000 is proof you were in the wrong and you had to pay compensation. Yes. So this is categorically, you have admitted through the payment of this compensation, you were wrong, even if no one will actually be charged or anything for this. And the Chief Air Marshal Wigston, don't know who he is, the Air Chief Marshal actually, said that no, these were well-intentioned efforts to improve diversity, and they didn't discriminate against white men.
Illegal.
Yeah, so why are you paying out £5,000 to each one of them if they didn't?
May have hurt their feelings.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So you're admitting it, right? And a spokesperson said, well, the selection standards were not and have not been altered, and there was no compromise of entry standards and no impact on frontline or operational effectiveness. Oh, really?
But quite an effect on morale.
Yes. Well, no. They say no, there's no impact. No, there's no impact. We're absolutely certain. No impact on operational effectiveness. And we're going to see the...
So how's the recruitment going then?
Yeah, exactly. It's not going great. So for this, no one was punished. Right? No one was punished. So the Air Force just have to pay out $155,000 because they were being racist. So they were just actively discriminating.
No, they were sorry they got caught.
Yeah,
that's what they were sorry about.
That's exactly
they got caught.
The service apologised, blamed incorrect legal advice, and said everyone had been acting with the best of intent and no disciplinary action was recommended. So no one was punished, no accountability. Nothing. No one gets canned for this. No one's career is harmed over this. No one loses their pension over this. No one loses anything. This gets to be just overtly discriminatory against straight white men, and nothing happens other than the taxpayer has to pay $150,000. This is how this country is run.
The collateral damage is people are getting the message.
Well, not welcome. Yeah, no, that is. So Sky actually did a really good job on this, which is remarkable. And they went and looked up. This was a period of time afterwards. So they looked up what happened to these people, and so Air Chief Marshal Sir Mike Wigston retired, just no problem at the end of his tenure. Air Vice Marshal Maria Byford retired, just so she's got her salary up until the point of retirement, £179,000 a year. Air Commodore Joe Lincoln just moved to a new post, and Group Captain William Dole, who was then the head of recruitment, so you would think that this would be his particular decision on who to hire and who not to, was promoted.
Good job.
Yeah, bravo. Brilliant job, Group Captain William Dole. And so, okay, well, it's just being racist to the straight white men who we expect to defend the country. They're surely signing up in their droves to defend the country now that things are going south with Russia, aren't they? Yeah, no. Oh, what a shock. The RAF...
what would we be fighting for? I mean, what would we be defending? What, freedom of speech, the rule of law, equality?
The country that belonged to your ancestors?
Maybe if
we're giving that away to foreigners as well. I mean, what are we fighting for?
Maybe if we said that we were...
Yeah.
Maybe
and who would want us?
Yeah.
Who wants to invade us with all our problems?
Yeah, exactly. Russia invades, takes over. It's like,
oh, you can have it back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I got
no thanks.
I was just going to say, maybe if we said we were going to go and fight and defend for Palestine, then maybe we'd get a more diverse roster signing up.
You know what they would have done? They absolutely would.
But they wouldn't stop over there and fight for their own country, would they?
No.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so the Telegraph here reports that the RAF is now facing a pilot shortage after a diversity hiring scheme backfired. An official document revealed that the Royal Air Force's need for a higher number of pilots in training, and they're so short-staffed that candidates who were previously rejected are being urged to reapply. Really, candidates are, no, you're white. We're not having you. Actually, white men, please come back.
Step this way.
Yeah, please reapply, because actually we need to go fight and die for, the multiculti Britain.
It reminds me of the poem Thin Red Line of Heroes. You'll be acquainted with that.
I know of
poem,
it,
yes.
but it's been a long
about how no one valued them as soldiers, I went into a public house to buy a pint of beer. The landlady got up and said, "We serve no redcoats here."
Yeah.
But it's step forward, Mr. Atkins, when the band begins to play.
Yes.
And
this is precisely
the music. The band's warming up.
Yep.
And no one's in the crowd.
We may have racially discriminated against you, but please reapply, say the RAF.
We really need you now.
Yeah.
Because you may have to die for your country.
Exactly. We need you to die for the institutions. And again, was anyone punished? No. They were all promoted. They were retired. They got everything they wanted.
Well, of course, what we have got in the military now is all the Blairite.
Yeah.
They're the people at the top now.
Yeah.
And also, what I need to share with you, Carl and Harry, is that you think that the MOD is run by the military.
No,
under Blair, it was taken
servants.
out. It's run by civil servants.
Yeah.
It is not a military organisation anymore. That's why you've got things like this going on, because the MOD is run by civil servants.
Yeah, I mean, my dad was a sergeant in the RAF when he retired from the forces.
Wellington ran the British Army very successfully with 25 non-military.
Yeah, I mean the whole
of them. Yeah,
the whole story of the British Empire is one of minimal administration as well. It's so good. Anyway, the point being on this is that they're begging for you to reapply. Do you feel like it? The Air Force is also short-staffed in various other ways as well, and it's not just the Air Force.
They're trying to parachute people in.
It's not just the Air Force. It's the Army as well. Lord Hammond has come out and pointed out that, look, young people are totally unprepared to fight a war for Britain. Well, why would they want to? Why would they want to defend the state of this country? I don't know whether you've noticed, but this country is falling apart. Our town centres are completely overrun by strangers who have just been allowed to come here, and we're paying for the privilege of them being here.
Who then bring more people in under skilled worker visa schemes for being kebab shop chefs.
A third
cooks.
of the people who are allowed to come here are just
let me just fire one in there. Why do we need to bring in? Why would the establishment? It's clearly designed bring in all these men of fighting age, between the age of, and people are worried that they're going to do something. Well, what if the plan has been for a very long time that a large number of our indigenous men of 18 to 40 will be heading to the Eastern Front and won't be coming back? What do you need in your country?
I don't even dare speculate on it. But honestly,
the war.
It's a thought.
2 years ago, the civil servants knew the war was coming, and morale went down. They knew the war was coming. The plan was for the war with Russia.
Honestly, though, it's too grim for me to ponder. it's like I don't want to think about it. But the point being, of course, is that they know that there's no reason that a young person would want to fight for Britain. In fact, many of them are thinking, how can I get out of Britain, actually? Where can I go? And lots of people are going to Australia because this country is going downhill, and everyone knows it because everything we have is just being given away. It's just been given away. It's being taxed away. It's been given away to foreigners, and you are being treated like a cash cow that will be discriminated against as a second-class citizen, as people were in the RAF. And so Lord Hammond says, there's no point spending lots of money on defence equipment if you haven't got any men to press the buttons, and we are unable to recruit even a rather paltry-scale army that we currently have. 72,000 men. We're always about 8,000 under recruitment, because what's the incentive? What benefit, what bonus, what privilege will you be given in society if you fight for it? No, you're a straight white man. You're at the bottom of the hierarchy in this country. You were treated with just open contempt by the institutions. Why would you bother? Why would you bother?
Yes, it's Tommy this and Tommy that and Tommy go away, but a special train for Atkins when the band begins to play.
I wish you'd brought up you were going to bring that up, because I would have reread it. It's been
yes.
I mean, I was literally in school.
It's all there. I mean, it's all there. They always treated the soldier badly, but it was a thin red line of heroes when the band begins to play.
Yeah.
Well,
so
they're a bit more educated now, and they know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. So, Lord Hammond here says, and this is just fascinating, right? We're not geared towards this, of course, and if you stop random men in their 20s and 30s and ask them how ready they are to drop their pens and computers and head off to the recruiting station, I think we'll get a pretty clear answer. There is a major societal shift going to be required. Oh, is it required? It's not just about money, it's about the organisation of the economy and the orientation of society.
We'll follow Lord Hammond. He'll be out there, surely.
Yeah, it's too late for
right
that.
behind us, 30 miles behind us.
But why is it that society is so geared against the native young man and in favour of every kind of foreign or minority?
They've been denigrating him and calling him far right.
Exactly.
Scum.
Yep.
Scum.
He's probably in jail right now because he posted something on Facebook because he didn't like children being stabbed.
Yes.
Like I'm sorry.
Something he would have stood up for.
Yeah, exactly.
Against children being stabbed.
Yes. So I'm having to laugh. It's just like, this is where we are, and so it really does annoy me.
And they'll say, where are all the real men?
Yeah. Why aren't they staying to our defence?
Yeah.
Why do you deserve it?
They've been toxic, but an element of toxic masculinity might be needed to defend the country.
Yeah. And so one colonel was interviewed by the Mirror, who was talking of conscription. It's like, well, are we going to have conscription? It's like, no, you're going to have a civil war if you think you're going to conscript. Like I
think there'll be an awful lot of conscientious objectors this time.
Yeah, most
people I know would rather go to prison.
Absolutely.
Than die. I did say there's probably a ditch in the Donbass with your name on it.
Yeah, I would definitely advise anyone to be a conscientious objector, quote unquote, to any war that this state wished to fight, because look at what you'll be protecting.
Well, I did point out in the summer that we were heading almost certainly for a war, and that Rishi Sunak had let it be known to the generals in the MOD that he didn't want to be a wartime Prime Minister, and clearly that Starmer was up for it. And he does like his khaki, doesn't he?
He does.
A lawyer.
Saw him in the Ukraine the outfit.
I nearly mistook him for Zelensky at one stage.
Yeah.
You see a bit of that, can't you?
Yeah, he's very much a hawk, isn't he, with what's going on in Ukraine?
And you just can't believe the politics that's going on and the transition. When you've got a Labour government now bringing in the other night that they're going to cut benefits for the severely disabled, as if giving them less money is going to make them able to work.
There's so much wrong.
Everything's inverted, isn't it?
There's so much wrong with this country. Anyway, so basically, if you're a young man in this country, I don't recommend you sign up, and I won't let my son sign up when they're old enough. So things would have to be very dramatically different for me to want to defend the current government of this country.
If you would like to see the full version of this premium video, please head over to lotuseaters.com and subscribe to gain full access to all of our premium content.